Well, good morning, Jagendra Rana here. The topic for our discussion today is what is proximate cause in insurance? What is proximate cause in insurance? So the perils relevant to an insurance claim can be classified under three headings. Insured peril means those named in the policy as insured, for example, fire, lightning, storm, and theft. The second, accepted or excluded perils. Those stated in the policy is excluded either as causes of the insured peril, for example, riot, earthquake, or war, or a result of insured peril, for example, certain types of explosions. And the third one is uninsured or other perils. So the perils not mentioned in the policy at all, smoke and water, may not be excluded nor mentioned as insured in a fire policy. So an insurance policy is designed to provide compensation only for such losses as are caused by the perils which are stated in the policy. The liability of the insurer arises only if the loss is caused by a peril which is specifically covered under the policy. However, the loss is not payable if it is caused by a peril which is excluded under the policy or is not mentioned. It is thus necessary to ascertain the cause of the loss to decide whether it is payable under the policy or not. So, however, there is a case where the loss is the result of two or more causes operating simultaneously or one after the other in succession, it becomes necessary to ascertain what is known as the proximate cause which brought about the loss. If, however, the accepted perils relates to the loss directly or indirectly arising out of their operations, the insurer may not be liable. Say, for example, in a case Cox versus Employers Liability Assurance Company Limited 1916, an army officer while visiting sentries posted along the railway line was killed by a passing train. So the policy excludes death or injury directly or indirectly caused by war, etc. The passing of the train was the proximate cause of the accident, but the indirect cause was war. For that was the reason why the officer was present on the railway line. In view of the words used in the policy, the insurers were not liable. So what is the meaning of proximate cause? That means the principle of the legal doctrine of proximate cause may be explained as follows. Like, the doctrine is based on the principle of cause, and effect which states that having proved the effect and traced the cause, it's not necessary to go further. The law does not concern itself with the case cause of causes. The law provides the rule causa proxima non remota spectacular. The immediate cause, not too remote or distant one, should be regarded, which was evolved by courts to solve the difficulty. But to be proximate, therefore, a cause must be immediate cause. The expression immediate does not mean that it should be the cause nearest to the loss in point of time or in point of time. So the expression immediate should be understood in terms of effectiveness or efficiency. Thus, from a number of causes, if one has to be selected as the proximate cause, the choice will be upon the one which may be vicariously ascribed the qualities of reality, predominance, efficiency. In other words, it is not the cause which is effectual in proceedings or producing that result. But to summarize, the proximate cause means the direct, the most dominant and most effective cause of which the loss is the natural consequence. That is the cause which is the most closely and directly concerned with the loss, not necessarily in time, but in efficiency and effectiveness. Once the cause is identified, Once the cause is identified, so it is the necessity to go further into the cause of cause. Finally, this cause has to be selected by applying common sense standards, that is the standard of a man in the street. The proximate cause has been defined in the English case of POI versus South Union of National Insurance Company Limited. As far as the active efficient cause that see in motion a train of events which bring about a result without the intervention of any force started and working actively from a new and independent source. Proximate in efficiency and not in time. The time that elapses between the cause and result may be long or short, but this in no way affects the issue. So long as the relationship of cause and effect is established, for example, a ship was torpedoed while the final loss was due to storm. It was held that it is the torpedo that approximately caused the loss. As far as practical application of the doctrine is concerned, in theory, the doctrine is clear: to entitle an insured to recover the train of events leading from the insured peril to the actual financial loss suffered by the insured must be unbroken. If the train of events from an insured event is broken by a train of events from an accepted or uninsured peril, then only the loss up to the break is covered. So the practical application of the doctrine is sometimes difficult. The selection of the proximate cause is not an easy and simple task, because loss may be caused by several events acting simultaneously or one after the other. Further, it is necessary to differentiate between the insured peril, the accepted peril, and the uninsured peril. Where the happening of the insured peril giving rise to the loss is a single cause or the last of a series of causes, then there is a valid claim under the insurance policy as no accepted peril is involved. There may be concurrent causes. If there are concurrent causes, that is, causes happening together and no excluded peril is involved, there is a liability under the policy. One of the causes is an insured peril and the other cause may be ignored. If there are concurrent causes with the accepted peril involved, that is when the insured peril and the accepted peril operate together to produce the loss, the claim will be outside the scope of the policy. And if the result of the operation of the insured peril can be easily separated from the effects of the accepted peril, then there is liability under the policy. So there is a direct chain of events, unbroken sequence, successive clauses, and interrupted chain or events, unbroken sequence. Both are there. So modification of the doctrine is there in the recent times because the factors or the circumstances have changed. So the application of the doctrine of proximate cause may be summarized as follows. The insured peril need not be initial cause. The insured peril must be a direct result of the cooperation of an accepted peril unless the policy wording specifically overrule this. Damage is the direct result of an insured peril is covered even though the immediate peril causing that damage is not mentioned in the policy. The property can be covered even though the named peril does not actually cause damage to the insured property, so long as the named peril does operate and as a result causes loss to the insured. For example, if the building next door catches fire and the only damage to the insured suffers is by wet water or smoke, as fire policy will operate provided the original fire was not caused by a peril named as excluded in the insured policy. So the risk insured against must actually take place. This may sound obvious, but there are situations where the effect of fear of losing goods by an insured peril may cause damage to take place. So the principle says it is to be borne in mind that many losses will have a unique set of circumstances surrounding them, and the establishment of the proximate cause will arise from the application of common sense to the facts of the case. Thank you very much.